She says, I keep seeing posts on positive thinking sites that say, whenever you have a negative thought, replace it with 3 good thoughts. And it seems to me that radical gratitude cuts through that mindset and invites us to actually experience the feelings and say thank you, to honor, accept, and feel the emotions and the situation as they are right now. So thank you for this change in perspective. So yeah, I know we keep returning to this, but it's, to me, a key point in this. Again, there's this paradox. If you find yourself just endlessly mired in negative thoughts, no matter what you do, I don't have a problem if you want to occasionally throw, just, we talked about this on another call, taking the mind and finally taking the mind in your own hands and saying to it, enough already. I'm pulling you back out of this abyss. We've been doing a lot of tools for how to do that. But this purpose of this radical gratitude, to me, is the embrace of the feelings. Because, if you're in a very despairing state and you just keep saying to yourself, put on a happy face, do that saccharine thing that Francis is talking about, make it all good. So many people have had this experience of the absolute inauthenticity of this and the toxicity, the, toxic positivity of, you can't bypass what's happening. And we've all had that experience of meeting people who are, I often think it comes out of trauma, that if you're sufficiently traumatized and you go into the new age world where it's like, I'm just putting a happy face on every single thing, no matter what, because down deep, I don't want to feel the emotions. I don't want to feel what in my own childhood may have helped evoke all of this. It never ends well. That's my experience. You can feel the lack of harmony between that extreme, relentless fixation on you have to be positive every moment. There's a complete disconnect from what's happening emotionally. So to me, we're working with allowing. That's what letting the divine take the lead is. It's a profound allowing of what is, combined with knowing these tools of divine source and divine order and all the things I use in my own books, so that there's movement, the divine flow can enter. You're not doing this to just stay mired. You're doing it so that there's room for movement. Yeah. I got told that too. There's a note from Sherry that says, I'm having a memory of hearing my mom tell me as a little girl, stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about. I heard that a lot from my dad. There has to be like a certain resonance there. And, the truth is, when you actually can go in and give yourself the permission to cry, I heard that so much growing up that it took me about 15 years after I left my family's home to be able to cry again. And now, it's so healing. Like, what is that line? Tears are what happens when the ice in the heart melts. That's what it is. And, Linda's bringing up this other side of it, which is sometimes negative thoughts are a habit that feels safe. I check in and ask if there's another possibility. That's incredibly important. That's the other side of the equation. I'm definitely not teaching this to go be mired in these repetitive circuit of negative thinking that are often coming back. We were talking about this last class. The negative thoughts are being fed by the circle of fire, shame, blame, and resentment. So it's just going round and round and round. And sometimes with some people, the way out of that circuit, you feel it, you go back to the primary emotion. You're not just putting a Band-Aid on by changing the thinking. See, that's to me the difference. The emotions are feeding the thoughts. You go in, you start to feel them, you start to bless them, you start to take care of the inner kid, you start to do offering, you start to do all the different tools that are here. The identity that's been built out of having these negative thoughts starts to melt. And that's what we've been talking about with the calcification, this fixation on certain thoughts. It starts to melt of its own accord if you're using these tools. And it's really helpful combining it with surrender and offering. So